Our Cosmos Gaming Fans for Bands with Tobin from Papa Roach. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Alrighty. So, obviously you've been touring for a long time.
Yeah.
What's it like going back on the road with Shinedown?
Same as it ever was. It's always been good with those guys. They're good guys. Solid band, and it's we got a lot of friends and family like on this tour, so it's cool. Just hang and
Yeah.
be around good people.
At this point with your career, just curious, since you have toured with almost most of the bands that are of your genre, does it come down to just everyone on the business side setting things up, or do you guys have the power to talk to some of your favorite bands and say, hey, let's go out on the road together, we should set up a tour sometime? Does it work like that ever?
Yeah, I mean, it works a little bit of both. It's a weird business. They try to, a lot of times they try to stick to branding, like a tour that makes a little bit more sense, like with having certain bands that maybe might fit a certain, mold or whatever, touring together. But I kind of like it when it gets mixed up a little bit more alternative feel. Like, the cool thing about this tour is that, In This Moment's on it, and In This Moment doesn't sound anything like Papa Roach.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't sound anything like Shinedown. And, I think that's cool.
It's kind of like Madness.
Yeah, it's like a cool, I like the eclectic, feeling of things. I mean, sometimes, we pick bands that we want to go out on tour with. Sometimes it's really hard, because a lot of the times the bands that we want to tour with, business people don't think it's a good idea because those bands don't,
Makes sense.
Have a lot of fans or mean tickets or, help the tour, and sometimes you're just like...
Yeah, I mean, you guys brought out Escape the Fate. Was that something that, you all had thought about, or was that just kind of set up, by fate?
That was, I think, something that we thought was going to be a good idea before we did it, and I think we share, like, the same management or record label or something.
Yeah.
So that's how that came together.
If you could bring out bands that probably wouldn't be approved, what kind of bands would you want to bring, like top 3 or 4 or 5? Anything that's on the top of your head?
There's a lot of cool bands, like we're going to go tour Europe, and we're taking out our friends in a band called, I just fucking went blank.
That's a pretty tight name.
Yeah, I just went fucking blank. No, they are called Middle Class Rut.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I like more punk rock band. Stuff that maybe our fans probably wouldn't like, so it probably wouldn't be a very good idea. Like, I mean, that just gets me more excited when I get to hear music, that I like or that we like before we go on the stage. Like a band like the Bronx, or there's even this new band called Let Live.
Let Live, yeah.
Sick live.
Seen them a million times now.
Maybe something like that. But we're kind of come from different scenes, and it might be kind of cool to mix it up. But
because back in the day, you were on one of the original Warped Tours when it was more like punk rock and ska related.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like when you were on there back in the day, that was totally your fix? Because those are your style?
Yeah, it was totally. It was very exciting and energetic. I think over the years, radio has kind of adopted, the Papa Roach songs.
Yeah.
And then you end up playing with a lot of radio bands, and some of them are really good, and some of them are really bad. And there's a lot of sterile, just rock radio bands out there. I just don't want to get trapped into just being that.
Well, the awesome thing about you guys is actually probably your live set, because I mean, whether it's a pavilion or even the Blender Theater, back like a few years ago, it's always like I always notice the energy's like super high. You guys always do a really good job of making sure the entire crowd gets involved.
Yeah.
I mean, your songs are appropriate for it, the way Jacoby gets the crowd involved.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like the one thing that's awesome I see coming up, like no matter what, when we see Papa Roach, there's going to be a good show.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you think that you guys could do to top it at this point, or is your main focus just keeping the energy alive as much as it is or has been?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just about keeping that energy and that focus, and like trying to do it. I mean, having fun,
Yeah.
And really getting that, that energy back from the crowd, because that always makes the show better. The crowd is better. The crowd is good. and it changes, you know. It just kind of just depends on where you're at, and who you're playing with, and who you're playing for, or whatever. But I mean, really, just about. I mean, there's the production side of things too. I mean, we can add like elements of. I mean, we have lights, you know, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never really been a big production band.
With like smoke and fireworks and all that.
Well, I don't think we'll ever be like that. That's just not the kind of band that we are. But I mean, we've tried to envision, you know, some cool artistic stuff that we can maybe have, you know, when it's video walls behind us or something like that. But it's shit's so expensive. You know what I mean, we're just like, we don't want to waste our money on that. You know, we're not there yet. So we just we don't rely on that stuff. So we really just try to make our songs and our show and the way we play it and perform it. And you know, Jacoby's really conscious too of how he's singing things now, because over 20 years of performing live, you know, for so many years,
and the vocal surgery,
throat and shit. You gotta be smart about that stuff too.
Awesome.
So, yeah, man.
All right. Well, I guess the last question I have, since we're in this theme, is just when you guys play live, what would you say your top 3 songs are where you feel the most alive playing them? Whether it's a new one or just one of the old ones like Last Resort.
Yeah, well, definitely Last Resort, because I mean, it's such a like a nostalgic song, and people just love that song so much and connect to it that it's like, it's cool to play. It's like when that song isn't really our song anymore. It's like it's
their song, yeah.
Yeah, so that one, and then I love playing Where Did the Angels Go? You know, it's a cool song. Yeah. And then I like playing, you know, some of the mellower songs too. Anything that we get to do that's kind of like, I love Scars, so I like playing Scars. Crowd always sings along with that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So those are the top 3.
And it's got a different feel, you know, it's not like a straight thing, it's got a cool little swing to it.
Alright, well, that's been a little taste of Tobin right there.
That's what's up.
Getting intimate, so thank you for your time.
Right on, man.